Alright, thanks for tuning in for part 2 of my Toshiro Umezawa EDH deck tech, where I'm going to be going over card choices, any synergies, anything that really works together. So now I'll just go through the deck and tell you about why I made certain choices. The land base, like I said, this deck is mono black. There's no real reason to run much of anything else. Maybe a Cabal Coffer for some mana excel, or an Urborg because I have a Swamp Walker, or maybe even a Shrine to Nixos, just to get that devotion land in there, but right now I just have swamps. Next I'll go over my sweepers. Decree of Pain kills all the creatures on the board, and when they die I draw a card and they can't be regenerated, or I can cycle it to give everybody -2/-2 and draw a card. It does a lot of good stuff. Life's Finale kills all the creatures on the board, and then I can search target opponent's library and remove 3 more creatures. I like being able to get rid of more creatures. Damnation is Damnation. Kills them all, can't be regenerated. Good stuff. Planeswalkers, I only run 2. Liliana of the Dark Realms for the ramp, mostly for the ramp. I really don't use her other abilities. Just ramp, and if I happen to get her to a max loyalty, I'll use that. Her ultimate, so I can tap my swamps for 4, but predominantly it's just for the searching out for a swamp to make sure I hit my land drop every turn. And then I run Karn Liberated, just so I can exile permanents that I can't deal with. As this deck can kill a lot of creatures, it can't really deal with enchantments and artifacts, so that is one way that I can get rid of them. Now my artifacts, I run Umezawa's Jitte. Pretty well known equipment, has some awesome abilities. Whenever a creature deals damage via combat, it gets 2 charge counters. Remove a charge counter to give a -1/-1, or gain 2 life, or give the creature a +2/+2. Pretty great value, plus it's Umezawa's equipment, so I had to run it. Nim Deathmantle, I run this because of the 4 mana res. I'll hardly ever actually equip it to a creature. I will generally just leave it on the board, and if something dies and I have the mana, it's going onto this to the res. Mimic Vat, I do a lot of killing in this deck, and a lot of my creatures will die via my own abilities and spells. What this will let me do is imprint it and get my own copies. Sometimes I get really good creatures. Cage Sun, specifically for the mana ramp. Argentum Amor, this is another card that lets me deal with permanents that I can't normally kill, enchantments and artifacts. This lets me kill them so I can help protect myself even further. And it gives the creature a +6/+6, which is nice. My tutors, pretty small tutor package. Pretty basic tutors. Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Tutor, Beseech the Queen, and Diabolic Revelation. I have a lot of ramp in this deck, so I have Diabolic Revelation for 6, 7, 8 cards before. Now I'm going to go over what I call my tech spells. These are spells that will protect me or protect my creatures, kind of come out of left field and catch opponents off guard. I have Darkness, basically a black fog. Undying Evil, it will give one of my creatures Undying, so if someone's going to kill one of my creatures that I need, hit it with this, it'll give the creature Undying, it'll come back. I can use Boon of Erebos to instant speed hit my creature with a Regenerate, and give it the +2/+0. It's usually the +2/+0 isn't relevant, it's just for the Regenerate. Same thing with Necrobite, instant, gives my creature Death Touch and Regenerate. I've used it many times as a combat trick to hit my creature, give it Death Touch, kill theirs. My guy will die, but he has Regenerate. It usually works out pretty well. Grim Return is another card that I use just to save my own guys, instant speed. Sudden Spoiling is, I more or less use it as another black fog. What I also have done in the past is cast this so creatures may lose indestructibility and then cast one of my sweepers, but 9 times out of 10 it's just coming down as a black fog. I'm going to go over Fated Return before I go over Corpse Dance. Fated Return is another res spell, instant cast. It does cost 7, but the creature does come as indestructible, and where Toshiro lets me cast spells from my graveyard, being able to use this twice and get back 2 creatures indestructible usually is pretty nice. Corpse Dance. I love this card. Instant speed res with a buyback of 2, so for 5 I can res it and keep it in my hand. Keep the spell in my hand, rather. What's nice about this is that I can cast it for the 3, it will go to the yard. If a creature dies, I can cast it from my yard and pay the buyback to get it back to my hand. So I can pull some pretty good tricks with this using Toshiro's ability. The only downfall to this card is that the creature that was summoned, the creature that was resed via this spell, if it dies, it's exiled. So what I usually will wait to do is maybe have a sacrifice outlet or just res something like a Fleshbag Marauder or a Slum Reaper that's going to die when it comes in and not get affected by the remove from game. Because it does get removed from game at end of turn. Now I'm going to go over my kill spells. Again, they're all instants. Pretty much everything I run in this deck beyond sweepers are instants. You know, there are some more powerful spells I could have run that were sorceries, but then I wouldn't really take care of Toshiro's ability very well. So Tragic Slip, 1 cost, -1/-1, but more, but if a creature has died this turn, they get a -13, -13. Usually I'm casting this 2 times a game for the -13. Victim of Night, 2 costs, destroy target non-vamp, non-werewolf, non-zombie. There's a lot of things this can hit, and it can kill black creatures, which is pretty good for a lot of black kill spells hitting non-black. This will let me hit black creatures. Terror, well known, destroy a non-black, non-artifact. Doomblade, destroy target non-black. Go for the Throat, destroy target non-artifact. Another one of my spells that lets me kill black creatures. Scent of Nightshade is nice. I cast this, reveal any number of black cards from my hand, and the targeted creature gets a -X, where X is the number of black cards I revealed. Dark Banishing, pretty much well-known black card, destroys a non-black, can't be regenerated. Horobi's Whisper, if I control a swamp, destroy target non-black creature. Rend Flesh, this is nice because it destroys target non-spirit, so this is another spell that will get around the non-black part. Hideous End destroys a non-black. Murder just destroys anything. Dismember will kill anything up to a 5/5. I ran this over, what do we call it there? Sudden Death. Just because I can pay it for 1 mana if I don't have the life to... I can pay it for a 1 mana and 4 life in case I don't have the mana at the time. Hero's Downfall, instant speed, creature or planeswalker. Pretty basic. Seize the Soul I like because I can more or less get 3 uses out of it. Well, kind of like 4 uses out of it. 3 or 4, depending on however it works out. But it is a non-black, non-white creature, so it is severely limited in what it can kill, but I kill a creature with this, I get a token, I haunt the spell onto something. When that something that is haunted dies, then I can kill another spell, kill another creature. Chill the Bone kills a non-snow creature, and Flesh to Dust kills any creature and it can't be regenerated. And next we're going to go over my creature base, why I chose these creatures and the things that they'll do. As I said before, most of my creatures have the ability to kill something. So the first one I have is Nightshade Assassin. He's a 1 cost, 1/1 to start. Can level him up for 1 in the black. When I level him up twice, he has the ability to tap for 1 black and himself to give a creature -2/-2. When I level him up all the way, he can kill any creature up to a 4/4. I also have Gatekeeper of Malakir, 2 cost, 2/2. When I kick him for 1 black, when he comes in, the opponent has to sacrifice a creature. My cat has decided she wants to come up and watch, apparently. Then I also play Kiku's Night's Flower. She's a 2 cost, 1/1. I can tap 4 on her to have a creature deal damage equal to itself, to its power. So most creatures are going to end up killing themselves. You know, most things are 2/2s or 4/4s. It's not very often that there'll be creatures that have a higher power than toughness. So this is going to make most creatures kill themselves. Fleshbag Marauder. When he comes in, everyone has to sacrifice a creature. So 9 times out of 10 I will cast him and sacrifice himself, so everybody else also has to sacrifice a creature. Royal Assassin. 3 cost, 1/1. Can tap him to destroy a tapped creature. So he'll sit there a lot of times, and as soon as someone declares to attack me and they tap their creature, I'll kill it. Or just if they tap for an ability, I'll kill it. He's a really good defensive measure, not so much offensive. Big Game Hunter, 3 cost, 1/1. If I happen to discard him, which isn't super often, I can Madness him for 1 black to bring him onto the field, but when he comes in, he destroys any creature with power 4 or greater, so this little guy can kill a lot of creatures. Dark Impostor is a 3 cost, 2/2. His ability to exile a creature sort of works against Toshiro, as it never hits the graveyard, but being able to exile maybe an indestructible creature or really just anything for 6 mana is pretty good, especially since he will gain their abilities permanently until he dies. Nekrataal, 4 cost, 1/1. He has First Strike, which has been relevant a few times, but when he comes in, he terrors. I can kill a non-black, non-artifact creature, and it can't be regenerated, so he terrors when he comes in. Crypt Ghast, 4-cost 2/2, doubles all my black mana, which is very nice, and also has Extort, so when I'm casting all my instants from my hand or from my graveyard or casting my creatures, that little bit of life drain can help out, and that little bit of life gain can also help keep me alive sometimes. Slum Reaper is just a bigger version of Fleshbag Marauder, 4-cost for this one rather than a 3-cost. Nightshade Assassin is a 4-cost 2/2 that does more or less the exact same thing that Scent of Nightshade, the kill spell, does. When she comes in, I reveal any number of black cards from my hand, and a creature gets -X/-X, where X is the number of black cards in my hand, rather. And she has First Strike, which, same as Nekrataal, it's only been relevant a few times. Shriekmaw is another creature that I can play. I can play him, which I hardly ever just cast him. What I'll do most of the time is evoke him, so he'll hit the board, he'll die immediately, and when he comes in though, he kills a non-black, non-artifact creature. He does have Fear, hasn't really been super relevant. Like I said, I never really cast him to play him. Usually I'll have done Dictate of Erebos or Grave Pact, and I cast him, and so I'll cast him, kill one of their creatures, and they have to sacrifice a creature. Grave Titan, pretty well known. He's a beast for what he does. Comes down, brings zombies, attacks, brings zombies. Steel Hellkite is in there because it can deal with the types of permanents that I can't via my kill spells, so he can kill enchantments and artifacts. He can also kill creatures, but he can also kill multiple things in a turn if they're of similar mana cost. Nirkana Revenant, her most relevant ability is really just her mana doubling, sort of like Crypt Ghast. I have used her black for a +1/+1 a few times, but mostly just her mana doubling, and she sits off to the side. Nefarox, Overlord of Grixis. I like him for his, not for his Exalted, mostly just for his ability that whenever he attacks alone, the defending player has to sacrifice a creature. So if I can use my kill spells to get them down to one creature, and then I'm going to start attacking, I'll attack with him every turn, because as soon as he turns sideways to attack, they have to sack a creature before they can block or anything. So if I can limit them to one creature and attack with him, I can really just start using my kill spells only sparingly if I need to. Harvester of Souls, perfect for this deck. He has Death Touch on his own, which has been nice a few times, where he has a 5/5 to block with. But whenever another non-token creature dies, I can draw a card. And as you can probably see, this deck can kill a lot of creatures, so the value I get off him for drawing cards is pretty great. And then Sheoldred, Whispering One, Swamp Walker, 6/6. At the beginning of my upkeep, I get a free res. Since a lot of my creatures can kill when they come in, a lot of times I'll bring in a creature, which is going to kill one of theirs, and then on their turn, they have to sacrifice a creature, which the value off that for what I can do with my creatures that come in and kill is really awesome. And lastly, we have my enchantments, only a few. Oversold Cemetery. A lot of my creatures will die, so I like to get them back, so as long as I have at least 4 creatures in the graveyard, I can take one back to my hand. Being able to reuse my spells is a big thing in this deck. Dark Prophecy, a lot of my creatures will die. Being able to draw that card and get that 1 life is very nice. Grave Pact, again, a lot of my creatures are going to die, so getting value off my creatures dying by forcing my opponent's creatures to die is very nice. The same goes for Dictate of Erebos with the 1 more mana on the flash, but other than that, it's the exact same as Grave Pact. And Grave Betrayal. I used to run this in all my black decks. I've more or less cut it out of all my black decks, but I run it in this one because of the amount of creatures I kill. The value that this brings is really nice. I mean, I will just get a lot of creatures to my side of the board based on the amount of creatures I've killed via my creatures killing them, or Grave Pact type enchantments, or my kill spells. So it's really helpful. So that more or less sums up my Toshiro Umezawa EDH deck. I didn't really talk about the win condition. The win condition is basically just keep the board clear enough that I can swing with my creatures for lethal. It may take a few turns to get to the 40 damage or the 21 commander damage, but it can do it. And usually I can get to the point where I'm controlling the board well enough that it happens. It's a slower game, it's a slow-paced game, it's not very aggressive. It's more of a mid-range deck that once it gets set up, it can really control the board and hold it down. But yeah, that's how it wins. Just control the board via my kill spells and my res, and then just send guys sideways and take out the opponent. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me anything you would add or you would change. Just let me know what you think. Thanks a lot.